Hi, I'm Cindy Nelson with Nelson Elder Care Law. So we've helped over 3,000 families to navigate through this aging process and becoming eligible for Medicaid and protecting their life savings. And over those years, I've gotten many of the same questions. So I want to tell you some of those questions and the answers to them. If I use Medicaid to pay for my nursing home costs, will the government take my house? Well, that's a valid question, but not necessarily. The government really doesn't want your house, they want your money. But you can take your house and other assets and protect them if you deal with a qualified elder law attorney. So you don't have to worry about, do you lose your house or do you get the care that you need? You can get that care and still protect your house. But the earlier you plan, the more of your life savings you'll be able to protect. Another question that I get is, other generations did not have to worry about elder law. Why do I need it now? And boy, I'll tell you, things sure have changed, right? So I know with my grandparents, whenever they were aging, there was usually some of my aunts that lived nearby that took care of them as they needed this type of help. The challenge today is that many of us are all over the world or all over the country, and we're not ready to take care of another person 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Plus, many of us have full-time jobs. Sometimes we still have children at home. So it's different than it used to be, where there were some of our female relatives that could take care of people as they aged because they didn't work or they lived in the same geography. So today, you need to find other people that are going to take care of you. So none of us want to be a burden on our families. None of us wants to have anyone that loves us doing personal hygiene on us or having to sacrifice their own family and their own wishes and their own future to take care of us. So if you don't want that to happen to you, you need to plan. There are ways to plan, and that's why elder law exists today. Doesn't Medicare cover long-term care? Well, Medicare covers up to 100 days in a rehab facility after you've had 3 days and 3 nights of a hospital stay. Then you can go to a rehab facility, and for the first 20 days, Medicare will pay at 100%. For the next 80 days, as long as you continue to improve, Medicare will pay, but you still have a copay of $194.50 for every day you're in there. So right there, you're at about $6,000 a month, which is quite pricey. And what happens is we don't continue to improve. Usually before the 100 days are up, we have gotten as well as we are going to get, and then Medicare stops paying rather rapidly. And you're at a point where you either have to pay out of pocket or you have to go home. And usually going home, people can't provide the care that you need for you. So Medicare is there for the short-term rehab part of what you need, but not for the long-term care, which is really expensive, that many of us are going to need in our future. What options are available to pay for long-term care then? If Medicare doesn't do it, how else can I pay? And there's actually 4 options. One is, when you're young and healthy, you can buy what's called long-term care insurance. And that insurance will cover a period of time or an amount of money that you might need in the future for long-term care. But you have to get that when you're healthy and when you're younger. Another way that you can pay for long-term care is out of your life savings. So if you saved up a whole pile of money and you can afford to pay $7,000 to $10,000 a month for many years, then you could use your savings to pay for your long-term care. Now, many people don't have that kind of money in their savings. Third, there are public benefits. One of them is called Medicaid. That can help you to pay for your long-term care. It is a federal and state funded program, and you can qualify for that But really, to be eligible, you need to plan ahead. Most people are not eligible without planning in advance. And fourth and final benefit that's available is for veterans. If you were a wartime veteran who didn't necessarily have to be in the war, but were on active duty 90 consecutive days, there is a veterans benefit that you might be eligible for that would help you to pay for your long-term care. So you might want to give us a call to check into that if you meet those qualifications. What is Medicaid planning? So I want to differentiate. There's Medicare, which is a benefit that we pay into as we work throughout our lives, and that is used to pay for our medical insurance once we turn 65 and older. And then there is Medicaid, spelled the same or pretty similar, but quite different. And it is a public benefit that comes from the federal and state government that will help you pay for the care you need as you age if you can't afford it and you meet the eligibility requirements. So what is the planning? Medicaid planning is the use of legal tools to take the assets that you've saved throughout your life and put wrappers around them and to protect them so you can use them for the things you intended instead of paying them all to the nursing home or to the government. It does take advanced planning in most situations, so you don't want to wait too late to do this. Even if you never think you're going to be in a nursing home, it doesn't hurt to plan ahead. I've heard that I need to give my assets away in order to qualify for Medicaid. Well, that is one way to do it, but it's not necessarily the best. It is very risky to do that. And let me tell you why. Because Medicaid has what's called a look back period. From the day that you need Medicaid, they look back 5 years to see what have you done with your assets. If you've given anything of value away during that time, they're going to deny your eligibility. Another reason it's risky is because now you've given those assets away, and whoever you gave them to probably has spent them or used them and is not in a position to give them back. So you've been denied with Medicaid, so they're not going to pay, and you don't have the assets to pay. So you could be in a real pickle in that case. So all of these strategies are things you need to do in order to become eligible for Medicaid. And it really requires you to plan early. So one of the things I like to say, it is never too early, but it can be too late. So give us a call at Nelson Elder Care Law. Let's get this going for you.